The mission was over. The automated voice declared one item could be brought back upon conclusion. Past successful operatives always chose things of value: gold, antiquities, rare artifacts from the world they'd left. Gabriel walked from the room he'd used, past the warehouse piled high with such trophies, and left the arc base he'd spent a decade building. He walked forward, not stopping until he stood before the discarded figure lying in the refuse and wreckage. Leo lay in the corner. His body was a map of brutalized flesh, his legs twisted unnaturally beneath him. His clothes were a single, stiff shade of rust brown, the original color lost. Only the slight shift of his eyes in their sockets proved he still lived. Upon seeing Gabriel, the dullness in Leo's gaze ignited into pure venom. He dragged himself forward, a pained scrape across the concrete, fingers closing around a fallen knife. "You have the nerve to come here, Gabriel? Looking to die?" Gabriel easily plucked the blade from his grasp and tossed it aside. He slid his arms under Leo's broken frame and lifted him from the cold ground. He spoke about coming to help. Pain from the wounds and shattered bones made Leo shudder violently, yet he still managed to struggle weakly in Gabriel's hold. He spat out a curse, claiming that Gabriel's offer of help was more repulsive than death itself. A trickle of blood escaped his lips as his strength faded. Gabriel adjusted his grip, asking if Leo didn't want to leave this place, to see the world beyond the wasteland, with family, with friends. Leo gritted his teeth, each word a strained whisper. He said Gabriel knew perfectly well he had no family. Gabriel shifted Leo's weight onto his back, settling him carefully. He stated that from this moment forward, he would be Leo's family. Leo's remaining strength went into trying to choke Gabriel, fingers pressing weakly against his neck. He hissed that trusting Gabriel was a fate worse than death. It was natural for Leo to hate him. Half the injuries covering his body, beyond those from wasteland mutants, were courtesy of Gabriel and his crew. In this post-collapse narrative, Gabriel's mandate had been to establish a new bastion, an arc for humanity's survival. Leo was the story's antagonist. An orphan, his only connection a younger companion he'd met in a shelter, Marcus. After Gabriel's arrival, Marcus had abandoned Leo without a second thought, choosing to follow Gabriel's path into the Scarred Lands. While winning Marcus over hadn't been an official task, their daily interactions had inevitably led to Marcus developing feelings for him. It was Marcus's departure, his betrayal, his leaks of information, that had broken Leo repeatedly, setting him on a path of relentless, solitary violence. As the mission parameters played out, Leo was meant to lose everything, dying alone and despised in a forgotten corner. Gabriel carried him, and Leo, with desperate, pained movements, tried to throw himself from Gabriel's back. He muttered that if Gabriel was waiting for some show of tearful gratitude, he should give up now. They had clashed in this world for nearly 10 years. The term arch-nemesis fit. After Marcus, Gabriel was likely the person who understood Leo most intimately. His combat style, his habits, even his measurements learned through grappling holds. Gabriel knew his sensitive spots. A touch there, or a breath against his neck, would always make Leo give an adorable, involuntary shiver before attacking with renewed ferocity. But Leo was too isolated, too shadowed by his own solitude. He never collaborated, bearing every burden alone. Even when his legs were shattered, he'd only clenched his jaw, silent. Any approach was met with immediate, bristling defensiveness. Now, Leo buried his face against Gabriel's neck, biting down. Despite his fragile state, the bite held surprising force, a promise to tear flesh. Leo only listened patiently to those he trusted. For Gabriel's words, Gabriel applied deliberate pressure to a specific wound. Leo choked back a sound, finally going still, breathing heavily against Gabriel's shoulder. Sometimes, firm measures were the only way to ensure cooperation. Gabriel stepped through the shimmering portal, carrying Leo home. Leo's condition ruled out a direct trip to any emergency room. He needed cleaning first. That ruined clothing had to go or he'd cause a scene. When Gabriel lowered him into the bathtub, Leo was still staring dazedly at his surroundings. Gabriel's apartment was minimalist, sparse on furniture or decor. But to someone born in the wasteland, the sheer cleanliness, the functional furniture, the hot water, any single element was a luxury beyond dreaming. Gabriel let him absorb it, adjusting the water temperature before carefully cutting away the fabric fused to his injuries. The sting brought Leo back. He looked at Gabriel, then a hollow, bitter smile twisted his lips. He asked if Gabriel wasn't worried about upsetting Marcus. Gabriel wondered why Marcus would be upset. Because Leo's voice was flat, the man Marcus idolized, his hero, was revealing himself as a fickle pervert with designs on his enemy. He expressed a grim curiosity about what methods Gabriel had used to earn such blind devotion, enough to make Marcus sell him out. In the original story parameters, Leo's feelings for Marcus were complex. Before the abandonment, Leo had viewed him as a younger brother. Afterward, that bond had warped into a strange, corrosive obsession. But this was no longer Leo's familiar world. Marcus wasn't here. Free from narrative constraints, Leo would gradually forget those who didn't matter. His world would contain only Gabriel. Gabriel set the scissors down and met his gaze. He asked when he had ever claimed to be Marcus's lover. Following Leo's logic, the line of people he'd been involved with would stretch for blocks. He was close to Marcus because Marcus was a comrade. Nothing more. Leo seemed thrown, his face flushing with anger. He started to retort. Gabriel continued, voice calm. Marcus didn't leave because of him. To Marcus, Leo simply hadn't been important. Leo's hands clenched into white-knuckled fists. Gabriel listed the facts. Marcus took all the supplies. He left Leo at the edge of the safe zone. He approached when Leo's guard was down, extracted information, later revealed his positions, participated in the hunts. In their final confrontation, Gabriel's order had been to incapacitate. Marcus had aimed for Leo's heart. With each sentence, Leo's breathing hitched. Horror, rage, a deep, cutting grief flickered in his eyes. His last shred of composure seemed ready to snap. No, it wasn't true. Leo shook his head, a low denial escaping him. Gabriel didn't stop. If Leo couldn't face this reality, he'd remain trapped in the story's engineered emotions. That would kill him. Perhaps, Gabriel suggested softly, Leo's greatest use to Marcus had been as emergency rations. With the wound laid open, the raw truth exposed, Leo's furious energy vanished. He went utterly still, sitting in the tub, letting Gabriel work. The first time Gabriel saw Leo, he'd thought him strikingly handsome. Sharp, delicate features contrasted with a lean, wiry build. Now, as he washed him, Gabriel cataloged the scars. Leo had lost weight. Once defined muscle had thinned. A lattice of brutal marks covered him, barely an inch of skin untouched. Some were from wasteland beasts. Most were man-made. Gabriel's hand hovered, then gently traced a particularly vicious scar on Leo's back. He murmured an apology. Leo remained silent, as if he hadn't heard, or as if he no longer cared about anything. Gabriel lifted him from the tub, a damp, unresisting weight. He dried him, dressed him in soft, clean sweats. Leo was like a compliant doll, but he wasn't entirely disconnected. He refused the spoonful of oatmeal Gabriel offered, lips pressed into a stubborn line. Not poisoned, Gabriel said. He took a bite himself, swallowed. See? It's safe. You haven't eaten in too long. Try it. Leo kept his mouth shut, teeth seemingly welded together. Gabriel tried a different tactic. He took another mouthful, cradled Leo's face, and pressed his lips to Leo's, using his tongue to push the food past his resistance. Leo choked, coughing violently. Gabriel patted his back until the fit subsided. Then he settled Leo into the wheelchair and resumed feeding. Soon the bowl was empty. Leo's stomach, no longer hollow, curved softly. A trickle of uneaten oatmeal traced a path from the corner of his mouth down his chin. Leo seemed unaware, still coughing slightly, fixing Gabriel with that hate-filled stare. The sight did something to Gabriel. His eyes darkened. He leaned in. Leo instinctively raised his hands to push him away, but his injured arms trembled, useless. He couldn't hope to shift a man of Gabriel's solid build. Watching the distance close, Leo shut his eyes tight, lips trembling. Gabriel had only intended to lick away the stray oatmeal. But Leo's scent, that haunting, familiar essence Gabriel had craved for years, and the softness of his mouth were impossible to resist. He deepened the kiss, tongue teasing against the barrier of Leo's lips. The wet, intimate sensation made Leo's eyes fly open. Seeing Gabriel's intent, a furious blush spread across his face. He gasped out Gabriel's name, accusing him of having a broken mind. Gabriel pulled back, licking his own lips thoughtfully. He admitted maybe that was true. On the drive to the medical center, Leo watched the world pass by the window. He stared for a long time before finally turning. Where was this place? Gabriel tapped a finger on the steering wheel. A place without constant fighting, he said. Peaceful. With ample food and advanced medicine. A place like this, and you didn't bring your people? You left them suffering in the wasteland? Only one person could come, Gabriel replied. So I chose you. Leo fell silent, turning back to the window. After a long moment, he mumbled something that sounded like thanks against the glass. The clinic waiting room was crowded. Leo's expression was blank, head bowed as if lost in thought. Gabriel knelt before his wheelchair, offering reassurance that he would heal. Leo's eyes lifted to meet his. He asked if Gabriel wasn't afraid he'd kill him. In the past, he stated if Gabriel had ever presented such an unprotected target, he would have taken his head without hesitation. Gabriel lowered his head, pressing his cheek gently against the back of Leo's immobilized hand. He asked if that was so. Leo frowned slightly at the indifferent tone. He muttered that in a comfortable environment, Gabriel's mind had grown soft, useless. Gabriel agreed. So you'll need to get better fast if you want to cut me down, right? He straightened as their number was called, wheeling Leo into the examination room without giving him a chance to reply. The injuries were severe. Multiple fractures, internal damage, severe malnutrition. Surgery was required. Delayed treatment meant the recovery would be arduous and long. Gabriel pushed him through a gauntlet of tests. For any requiring standing or movement, he simply carried him. Leo resisted weakly, but helplessness soon gave way to a flushed, resigned acceptance as Gabriel moved him from table to machine. You're kind of cute like this, Gabriel whispered once. Can I have a kiss as payment for my hard work? When Leo didn't answer, Gabriel took it as assent, planting a quick peck on his cheek before he could react. That's nice, he added. But I'd still rather kiss you properly. Leo's eyes went wide. He glanced around the busy corridor, mortified, before hissing a threat under his breath. The surgery was scheduled for the next afternoon. Though Leo said nothing, Gabriel sensed the subtle shift in his mood. Scared? Leo turned his head away, refusing to answer. It's all right. The doctors here are experts. You'll wake up and it'll be over. No one will hurt you here. If they try, I'll storm in and deal with them. Okay. I'll be right here waiting. We'll go home together. The procedure went smoothly. Yet the man who had submitted to surgery now refused his post-op medication. For the third time, Leo knocked the pill cup from Gabriel's hand, sending tablets scattering across the floor. He wordlessly turned his wheelchair toward the large window in the living room. Gabriel gathered the pills. He tried to lighten the mood, mentioning the apartment might be too small. Maybe they should find one with a balcony for sun, or move to the suburbs for better air, though that was farther from the hospital. Since emerging from the anesthesia fog, Leo had been listless, withdrawn. Not responding was common now. Which would you prefer? Gabriel asked, crouching beside him. No answer. Gabriel kept asking, repeating the question until Leo, irritated, muttered a sullen whatever. My legs, he added, his voice hollow. Doesn't matter where we are. They're the same. Gabriel glanced at the thick plaster casts and nodded. True. He noted Leo wasn't eating properly either. But that's fine in a way. Leo's eyes dropped, a dull grayness clouding them. His fingers tightened on the wheels, preparing to move away. It means your future life depends entirely on me, Gabriel said softly. Isn't that interesting? My former enemy, reliant on me. With that being the case, I could do anything, couldn't I? I could tie you up. Do truly unforgivable things. No one would ever know. The wheelchair stopped. Leo tried to reverse toward the bedroom, but Gabriel blocked his path. No pills today, fine. But you're coming with me to the clinic for your follow-up. No. Give me a reason or I'm carrying you there. As he spoke, Gabriel crouched, ready to hoist Leo over his shoulder. Leo flinched, wheeling back a few inches. Shouldn't you be asking yourself that question? Asking myself what? Why? Leo's voice rose, cracking with sudden emotion. Why take me in? Why bring me to a hospital? I have no value left. I'm already in your hands. If you want to humiliate me, get on with it. What are you waiting for? Everything you're doing is a waste of time and effort. And you keep saying family. Do you actually think I believe that? That I'm supposed to be grateful? He took a shuddering breath. Someone like me, shelter, food, treatment, I don't need it. His gaze was utterly vacant as he slumped back. You should have just left me there to die. Gabriel supposed when sincere effort was met with such vicious doubt, anger would be the natural response. But looking at Leo, he couldn't summon any. The man just looked so profoundly pitiful, like a small, snarling animal who'd had all its teeth pulled, threatening to end the world while secretly needing to be held and soothed. Not that Leo would ever allow such a thing. Leo sat motionless, unresponsive even when Gabriel pressed a glass of water to his hand. He seemed to have shut down all sensory input. Left alone, this would spiral into full depression. Forcing him to the clinic would be pointless. He wouldn't cooperate. How to lift that crushing weight? Gabriel thought for a long moment. Fine, no clinic today. We're going hiking. To prevent any impulsive leap from the moving car, Gabriel secured Leo into the passenger seat with the seatbelt snug. He drove out of the city. When their destination came into view, a forested hill rising against the sky, Leo stared, clearly confused. Realizing Gabriel wasn't joking, his expression darkened. The hill's elevation was roughly 1,000 feet. Too high for Leo's current state, but Gabriel had chosen it for the paved trail. Watching Leo's face was endlessly fascinating. Right now, he clearly thought Gabriel intended to make him crawl up the slope as some public spectacle. Gabriel got out, opened Leo's door, and undid the restraints. Leo looked at the asphalt, fist clenching and unclenching. He gripped the seat edge, closed his eyes, and let himself tumble forward. Instead of hitting the ground, he landed against a solid, warm chest. He opened his eyes, bewildered. What are you doing? Gabriel asked mildly. I've carried you before. Put your arms around my neck. What are you doing? Carrying you up, of course. Leo didn't move. Gabriel remained bent, supporting him. Don't you want to see me sweating, struggling, in pain because of you? Wouldn't that be satisfying? And some parts of the trail are steep. You could make us both fall. Use me as a cushion. I'd be a mess. A long silence followed. Finally, Leo's arms crept around Gabriel's neck. Stay close to the edge, he muttered. The trail was moderately busy. Near a midway concession stand, a group of people lounged on benches. Gabriel bought water and offered it to Leo. The day was warm. Leo had a slight sheen of sweat on his forehead, his tongue darting out to wet, dry lips. He refused the bottle. Gabriel unscrewed the cap and placed it in his hand. You're missing a chance to burden me further. Leo shot him a look, then quickly grabbed the water and drank. After a break, Gabriel continued the climb. Noticing Leo was actually engaged, watching a hawk circle overhead, a mischievous idea struck. He deliberately stumbled near the trail's edge. The sensation of sudden falling made Leo stiffen, his arms locking vice-like around Gabriel's neck. When Gabriel easily regained his footing, Leo realized the trick. He glared, icy fury in his eyes. "Why look at me like that?" Gabriel teased. "You'll burn holes in me." As they passed the concession area, the crowd had grown. Though their exchange had been quiet, some had noticed. "Look at those two. Seriously? A handicapped guy hiking? Being carried? Should just stay home. Must be a burden. Did you see that? He almost fell. Probably on purpose. Like a parasite. Disgusting. Better off." The voices, male and female, buzzed like gnats. The fragile light that had begun to show in Leo's eyes extinguished. His spine, which had straightened slightly during the climb, curved. He buried his face against Gabriel's neck. The old Leo would have fixed them with a lethal stare, maybe flashed a blade, or simply kicked their bench over and walked away. He would never have retreated like this. Feeling the tremble in Leo's hands, the hot puff of breath against his skin, something tightened in Gabriel's chest. For a character written as a supreme villain, Leo kept doing things that twisted his heart. Gabriel stopped. He turned and walked directly up to the gossiping group. "What's your problem?" His voice was low but carried. "The guy doing the carrying isn't complaining." "Who asked you? Got your own lives figured out, giving advice? You sound like the disabled ones." He drove his heel down, crushing a loose piece of asphalt. Bored, pathetic. He turned back to the trail. "Don't mind them," he said to Leo. "They're just jealous you've got someone to carry you. I'm taking you all the way to the top. Let them choke on it." He expected no reply. So he was surprised when Leo's grip on his shoulder tightened slightly, and a faint, almost inaudible sound of agreement reached his ears. The view from the summit was sweeping. Gabriel spread a blanket and pointed out landmarks. The university district, the public gardens, the tiny square that was a favorite coffee shop, their own apartment building. His finger moved to a different neighborhood. "When you're better, we'll move there. The units have huge balconies. Good landscaping. We could grow something. A lemon tree, maybe? You can look at it and eat from it." Leo said nothing, but as he gazed at the sprawling city, a different kind of light entered his eyes. "Once you're healed," Gabriel continued, "you can visit all those places. You can kick me, hit me. Doesn't that sound good? So, tomorrow we go to the clinic, okay?" Leo's eyes met his. His lips parted. No. For the next several days, Gabriel took Leo everywhere. County fairs, boardwalks, parks. When Leo burned with shame on a vintage carousel or a kiddie ride, Gabriel would lean in and whisper, "If you were cooperating with treatment, you could jump off this thing yourself. And punch me." Leo would seethe, but Gabriel stayed just out of reach of his swatting hand, leaving him to stew. Over time, the anger faded into weary resignation, then a kind of detached amusement. They began to debate which attractions were the most ridiculous. On the drive home one evening, they passed a sprawling pumpkin patch. Gabriel told Leo about the American writer who'd been pushed in a wheelchair by his friend to steal corn. He described the laughter, the frantic escape. Seeing the conflicted, almost wistful expression on Leo's face, Gabriel laughed. "Don't worry. If we ever get caught stealing pumpkins, I'll definitely throw you over my shoulder and run." He leaned closer, resting his head on Leo's shoulder when he didn't pull away. "So we're like them, right? Good friends?" Leo looked at him, emotions warring in his gaze. "No," he finally said, his face pale. His eyes darted away. "I told you," Gabriel said softly. "We're family." A spark ignited in Leo's eyes. "Like brothers?" Gabriel nipped his cheek, then kissed it. "Exactly." The next day, Leo agreed to the clinic appointment. After the checkup, in the bustling hallway, Gabriel spotted a woman from the transference bureau. She looked haggard. Her eyes flicked to Leo in the wheelchair, her expression troubled. "Wait for me a moment," Gabriel said to Leo. She nodded, following him a few steps away. Gabriel turned back to Leo first. He emptied his pockets, keys, wallet, phone, and placed them all in Leo's lap, keeping only the prescription slip. "I bet you're wondering what I'm doing," he said. "Giving you everything so you could run. Of course I'm scared. So please don't take my whole world and disappear. That would leave me so pitiful. You wouldn't abandon someone that pathetic, would you?" After a pause, Leo gave a soft, grudging hum of assent. Gabriel didn't go far, staying within Leo's line of sight. Even with his back turned, he could feel Leo's gaze fixed on him, unwavering. The woman was terrified. Her mission had cut out midstream, she explained, her system link severed. Since Gabriel was bound to the same core protocol, had it contacted him? Their contract was incomplete. She needed what she was promised. Gabriel rubbed his temples, cutting her off. "That's not my concern. I heard you're the best," she pleaded, grabbing his arm. "Good enough to negotiate directly with the system. Help me find it. Name your price." He shook her off, wiping his sleeve with distaste. "I said I don't know. You'd have better luck finding a new protocol to bind with. Difficult but not impossible. Depends on the new system's personal opinion. Good luck." He walked back. Leo's stare was still on him, colder now, clearly displeased. "Sorry that took so long," Gabriel said, ruffling his hair. "Let's go home. I'll cook tonight. Takeout isn't healthy." The creamy chicken and rice Gabriel produced emitted a dubious aroma. Leo picked up his spoon and froze, as if confronted by a hostile entity. Gabriel encouraged him to try it, insisting he'd added vegetables and good broth. With immense trepidation, Leo took a bite. His face underwent a remarkable transformation. Yet stoically he swallowed. "Fine," he managed. Gabriel took the spoon, sampled the concoction, and immediately spat it into the sink. He declared they should just order pizza. As he dumped the failed meal, he noticed Leo had wheeled into the kitchen doorway. Leo surveyed the disaster on the counter. Any ingredients left? What followed appended Gabriel's assumptions. Leo was a surprisingly competent cook. Just tasting the sauce he whisked together was a revelation. Under Gabriel's astonished gaze, Leo's ears turned pink. "What's that look for? I didn't know you could do this. Is that strange?" Leo held a plate, his focus on the task. "In the wasteland, when things were quiet, I read old cookbooks. It was peaceful." "That's amazing," Gabriel said sincerely. The praise deepened Leo's blush. He thrust a spatula into Gabriel's hand. "I can't stand. You stir. I'll guide you." Leo's instructions were precise, his attention never leaving the pan. Watching him, so focused, so alive in this simple act, made something ache sweetly in Gabriel's chest. He couldn't help himself. He bent and captured Leo's lips in a brief, biting kiss. Leo jerked back as if scalded, wheeling away, throwing an arm up defensively. "Gabriel, what are you, today you and that woman," understanding dawned. Gabriel smiled. "You were jealous." Leo refused to look at him, rubbing his earlobe. "Don't be absurd. She's just a colleague. We hadn't seen each other in years, so we talked a bit longer. Don't worry. I don't care about anyone but you." The blush spread down Leo's neck. "So," Gabriel murmured, leaning in until their foreheads almost touched. "Can I kiss you now?" Things improved gradually. Leo stopped resisting checkups. He began to participate in his therapy. He'd suggest sitting on the apartment's small fire escape to feel the sun. Most importantly, he no longer pushed Gabriel away when he leaned in to kiss him. Even bath times became less tense, though now Leo tended to curl in on himself, which only made Gabriel think of a wet, defensive kitten. It was during one such bath that Leo, for the dozenth time, insisted he could manage alone. Gabriel, Have you forgotten the casts are off? What are you talking about? Gabriel's voice was innocent. I'm worried you'll slip. He made a show of looking distressed, subtly directing Leo's gaze downward. Leo's eyes widened in shock. Uncomfortable, Leo, Gabriel said, his voice rough. Can I kiss you? Leo's gaze skittered away, but he didn't release the wrist he was holding. After a long moment, he gave a barely perceptible nod. Okay. Perhaps because Leo had been holding back as well, the kiss ignited instantly. It was fierce, hungry, a decade of conflict and hidden longing dissolving in the steam. The water grew cold. Gabriel carried Leo to the bedroom. Once on the bed, Leo immediately seized Gabriel's wrist, guiding his hand. The touch of warm, smooth skin made Gabriel sigh with pleasure. Leo's hair was still damp, droplets shaking loose to land on Gabriel's chest in cool surprises that made him shiver. Leo laughed at that, a genuine, low sound, and his exploring fingers grew bolder, tracing a path downward. Just as he thought he'd gained the upper hand, Gabriel flipped them effortlessly, pinning Leo beneath him. Leo fought, hitting, biting, struggling until he was breathless and trapped. Realizing his disadvantage, his expression shifted to one of confused innocence. Gabriel, what is this? Aren't we family? Gabriel's own hand trailed down, stopping at the very spot Leo had been aiming for. Watching the startled realization in Leo's eyes, Gabriel licked his lips. Wife, he corrected gently. You're my wife. He had always hated the Bureau's mission parameters. Every directive violated his own will, harming Leo. Watching him, so brittle and broken, constantly pretending to be unbreakable in front of him, it was impossible not to develop other plans. Like keeping him in a room where he could see only Gabriel, rely only on him, bathe day and night in the warmth Gabriel provided. But the system had been an irritant. It refused any living cargo. It had tried to force his extraction. No matter his arguments, it lacked flexibility. Gabriel couldn't leave Leo, so he had dismantled the system. He had become the system, created new complications. But every time he looked at Leo, he regretted not making the change sooner. The man beside him shifted in his sleep, putting a small distance between them. Gabriel slid an arm around him, pulling him back flush against his chest. Leo made a soft, sleepy sound but didn't resist, settling into the hold. Gabriel smiled into the darkness, his body trembling slightly with the force of contained joy. Leo didn't know. If he had ever tried to leave in earnest, Gabriel would have permanently revoked his mobility. Those legs would have become mere decoration. But Leo would never have that chance now. Gabriel pressed a kiss to his temple, because he was already inseparable from him. And Gabriel would be beside him always.